All right, welcome to another deep dive. Looks like someone's prepping for a pretty intense neuroscience exam.
Definitely. Looks like it.
So we're going to try to help you ace this thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we've got, it seems like a mix of some textbook chapters and slides.
Mhm.
Let's see what we can do to distill this down.
Yeah, and based on the slides, it seems like the main learning outcomes
Yeah.
are going to revolve around like the structure of the nervous system
Okay.
and neural development,
Okay.
and then the methods that researchers use to study the brain.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's start with the nervous system.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So just like a communication network for the entire body.
Yeah.
And we can start with the brainstem,
Okay.
which is sometimes referred to as the primitive brain,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really anything but.
Yeah, it's super important.
Yeah.
It's made up of the medulla, the cerebellum, and the reticular formation.
Right.
And they control things like breathing, heart rate, and reflexes.
Oh.
Yeah. So think of the medulla as the control center that keeps your body running,
Yep.
even when you're asleep.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about the cerebellum?
Oh, the cerebellum.
Yeah.
It's all about coordination, balance, posture.
Yeah, like I always think of it as like,
Yeah.
like a dancer, like being very graceful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like hitting a tennis serve or even just walking across a room.
Right.
You can thank your cerebellum for that.
I see. Okay.
And then we have the reticular formation.
Okay.
And this is a network of neurons that runs through the brainstem.
Okay.
And it's basically filtering all of the sensory information that's coming in.
So it's like a gatekeeper.
It is. It's like a gatekeeper. Exactly.
Wow.
And it regulates our alertness levels too.
Okay.
So without it, we'd just be bombarded with too much information.
Too much stimulation.
Exactly.
Right. So it kind of helps us focus.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. So we've got the brainstem, which is really critical.
Mm-hmm.
What about the spinal cord?
Oh, the spinal cord. Okay, so this is like the information superhighway between the brain and the body.
Okay.
So it carries commands and sensory signals back and forth.
Okay.
It's organized in a really specific way.
Uh-huh.
So sensory neurons enter through the back and motor neurons exit through the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this arrangement makes sure that communication between the brain and the body is super efficient.
So that we can react quickly to changes in the environment.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
if you touch a hot stove,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you don't even think about it. You just
You just pull away.
pull away. Yeah.
That's the spinal cord's reflex arc,
Wow. Good.
bypassing the brain for a super fast response.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, a system designed for survival.
That's so cool.
It is, it is.
Okay, so we've gone over like kind of the super highways of the nervous system.
Yeah.
So now let's maybe go to like the main city,
center, right?
which is the cerebral hemispheres.
Yes, exactly.
So those are the wrinkly parts of the brain that we all think about.
Exactly, those iconic wrinkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are responsible for all those higher level functions that make us human.
Right, like thinking and memory.
Yeah, language, creativity, the whole shebang.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
Okay, and so is that where lateralization comes in?
It is, it is. So the two hemispheres, they're not just mirror images of each other,
Right.
they actually specialize in different functions.
So it's more nuanced than just left brain and right brain.
It is,
That's
yeah.
okay.
There are some general patterns,
Mm-hmm.
but both hemispheres are constantly talking to each other.
Oh, okay.
Through this massive bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum.
So that's how they work together.
Exactly. Think of it as the bridge connecting these two bustling cities,
I see, okay.
sharing information and working in sync.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does, it does.
So then, how does the brain change and adapt?
Oh, that's a great question. So it's not a static organ, it's actually really dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where neuroplasticity comes in.
Yeah.
So this refers to the brain's ability to rewire itself.
So it's always changing.
It is. Forming new connections and strengthening existing ones based on our learning,
Yeah.
based on our experiences, even recovery from injury.
Yeah.
It's like a sculptor constantly molding and refining a masterpiece,
Right.
responding to new inspirations and challenges along the way.
Yeah, like we can learn new things
Absolutely.
at any age.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so we've talked about like the basic structure
Mm.
and how it changes.
Mm-hmm.
So how do scientists study the brain?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of really ingenious methods that scientists use.
Well,
Think of it like
mm-hmm.
they're using tools to unlock these secrets of the brain.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, and it gives us insights into behavior, cognition, even consciousness.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's dive into the world of brain research research a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
What are some of the key techniques they use?
All right, well, one of the classic techniques is EEG,
Okay.
electroencephalography,
Okay.
and it's kind of like listening to the brain's electrical symphony,
Okay.
capturing the rhythmic fluctuations of neural activity through electrodes that are placed on the scalp.
Oh, okay. So it's measuring those brain waves.
Exactly.
Its peaks and valleys.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's so cool.
And you can use it to study brain states, like sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can actually identify distinct brainwave patterns associated with each stage of sleep.
So you can really see what's happening in the brain during sleep.
You can. It's pretty remarkable.
That's so cool. I've always been so interested in sleep.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But so EEG is not just for those big shifts in brain states, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It can also be used to study more subtle cognitive processes,
Like what?
like attention, decision-making, even language processing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so by analyzing the timing and patterns of the brainwaves elicited by certain stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
you can learn a lot about how the brain processes information,
Okay.
makes choices, forms memories.
So it's like we're eavesdropping on the brain.
You're eavesdropping on those electrical conversations.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really fascinating.
Okay, so we can listen with EEG,
Hmm.
but can we see?
We can brain imaging techniques like fMRI and PT.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, and these allow us to create detailed maps of brain activity.
Okay.
So we can actually see which regions light up during certain tasks or experiences.
It's like a window into the brain.
It is. It's
Okay.
incredible.
Yeah, and so fMRI, which is functional magnetic resonance imaging, detects changes in blood flow.
Okay.
And that's basically a proxy for neural activity.
Oh, okay.
So when a particular brain region is doing something,
Mhm.
it demands more oxygen.
More nutrients.
Makes sense.
So there's increased blood flow to that area.
I see.
And fMRI picks up on these subtle changes.
So we can actually see what areas are being used.
You can, and it creates these vibrant maps of brain activity.
That's so cool.
It is.
What about PT?
Oh,
Yeah.
PT, positron emission tomography.
Okay.
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
It uses radioactive tracers to track molecules in the brain.
Okay.
These tracers can bind to receptors,
Hmm.
enzymes, even neurotransmitters.
Wow.
So you can actually visualize their activity in different regions.
Okay, so you can see how different chemicals are affecting the brain.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's very cool.
So dopamine or serotonin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so PT is particularly useful for studying neurotransmitter systems, for understanding drug effects,
Oh.
and even for diagnosing certain brain disorders,
I see.
like Alzheimer's disease.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's pretty helpful.
it is. It's a very valuable tool.
So EG, fMRI, PT. Is there anything else?
There is.
Yeah.
There's one more that's really exciting. It's called optogenetics.
Okay, I've definitely never heard of that one.
Okay, so this one, it's kind of like having a remote control for the brain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can actually manipulate the activity of individual neurons using light.
Wait, so you can turn neurons on and off with light?
You can. It's pretty wild.
That's amazing.
It is.
How does that work?
So you genetically modify neurons to express light-sensitive proteins.
Okay.
And then by shining light of specific wavelengths on these neurons,
Mm-hmm.
you can activate or inhibit their activity.
So it's like precise control over brain activity.
It is, yeah. It's incredible precision.
Wow. So what can we do with that?
Well, it's still a relatively new technique,
Okay.
but it's giving us groundbreaking insights
Okay.
into the neural basis of a bunch of different behaviors, like
Wow.
movement, sensation, learning, memory, even social interactions.
That's crazy.
It has the potential to really transform how we understand the brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so obviously with all these tools, we have to be careful,
Right? Yeah, we do.
like ethically,
Exactly.
like be responsible.
Absolutely. Yeah. As our ability to study the brain grows, it's super important to think about the ethical implications.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So open discussions, transparency, a commitment to responsible research practices.
Right.
Those are all essential.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is amazing.
It is. It is.
I mean, we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from like the basic anatomy of the brain to plasticity
Yeah.
to how scientists actually study this thing.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
This is really cool.
It is.
So as you continue studying for this exam,
Yeah.
remember that the brain is always changing.
It is.
It's capable of learning, adaptation, and even healing.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
So keep that in mind as you keep going. And maybe someday you'll be the one doing this research.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great thought.
It is. It is.
Okay, well, until our next deep dive, keep those brains buzzing.
Keep learning.
So it's amazing, right? We can like actually look into the brain and see what's happening while we think and feel and learn.
It really is incredible.
But these research methods aren't just for science, right?
No, they're at all.
They're actually helping people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so how are they doing that?
Well, for example, they're leading to some really cool new therapies.
Okay.
So fMRI is really helpful for mapping out brain regions that are affected by things like depression and anxiety.
So like specific areas of the brain
exactly
that are impacted.
Yeah, and this knowledge helps researchers develop more targeted therapies.
Oh.
So instead of just a one-size-fits-all approach, you can get more personalized treatment.
That's really cool.
It is, yeah. It's a game changer for a lot of people.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about EEG?
Oh, EEG is being used for neurofeedback.
Okay.
So patients can actually learn to control their own brainwave patterns.
Wait, so you can train your brain?
You can. It's pretty amazing.
Like to change your brain waves?
Yeah, and it can potentially reduce symptoms of things like ADHD or even epilepsy.
So it's like,
Yeah.
You're taking control of your own brain health.
You are. You're basically becoming your own brain trainer.
That's incredible.
It is. It's really empowering.
Wow.
And then there's brain stimulation therapies, too.
Okay.
Like TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Okay.
And it uses magnetic pulses to stimulate or inhibit specific brain regions.
This is like a non-invasive way to
It is, yeah.
change brain activity.
Exactly. And it can offer relief for things like depression and chronic pain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still being investigated, but the early results are pretty promising.
So it could help a lot of people.
It could, yeah.
Wow. So all of these research methods are doing a lot of good.
They are. They are.
But it's not just about treating disorders, right?
Right. They're also revolutionizing our understanding of basic brain function.
Right.
And human behavior.
So like optogenetics.
Yeah, optogenetics is allowing researchers to really dissect those neural circuits that underlie all sorts of complex behaviors.
Right.
Decision-making, reward processing, social interaction, even consciousness.
Wow.
It's pretty mind-boggling.
It really is.
Yeah, and these insights are actually influencing multiple fields: psychology, neuroscience, education, artificial intelligence, even economics.
Wow. So understanding the brain is helping us understand everything.
It is. It's shaping our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
That's pretty profound.
It is. It really is.
Oh, I feel like we've learned so much today.
We have. Yeah, it's been a great deep dive.
About this incredible organ that we all have.
It's remarkable.
So as you continue studying for your exam, just remember that this is a field that is constantly evolving.
It is.
It's full of amazing discoveries.
Yeah, there's always something new to learn.
So embrace the challenge.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one making those big breakthroughs.
Yeah, keep that curiosity alive.
Absolutely.
Never stop exploring.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the brain.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope it was helpful.
Me too.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing.
Keep learning.